Dairy Queen on Golden Gate Parkway in Naples had numerous high-priority violations, including live roaches found in the kitchen.
If you think fast food is just quick and easy, think again. Behind those glowing signs and tempting deals are kitchen secrets that could ruin your appetite. This is not fear-mongering, it is a wake-up call. And once you see what really happens behind the counter, that combo meal might not look so comforting. Let us start with a place that sounds sweet but might leave a sour taste behind. Welcome to Dairy Queen, the home of the flipped blizzard, the fried snacks, and the nostalgia of summer afternoons. But nostalgia will not save you from a fryer that has not been cleaned in a week. Former employees have reported shocking prep room practices, including using the same gloves to handle raw meat and then scoop ice cream. That is not a mix-in. That is a health code violation. One ex-worker from Indiana said the gravy they serve with chicken baskets came in thick, pre-mixed bags that sat in a warmer all day. And if the temperature dropped, they just turned the dial and stirred. No thermometer, no check, just vibes. Then there is the grill. The burgers are frozen, not fresh, and the meat sits in a metal drawer until it is slapped on a hot surface that may or may not have been wiped down from the last batch. A customer once posted a photo of their cheeseburger with a slice of unmelted cheese hanging off the edge like it was trying to escape. The bun was soggy, the meat was gray, and the only thing holding it together was disappointment. And that soft-serve ice cream? It might be the star of the show, but the machine cleaning schedule is anything but sweet. Some employees admit it gets a deep clean maybe once a week. The rest of the time it is a rinse, a quick wipe, and hope no one notices. Mold, old dairy residue, and sticky syrup buildup have all been documented in health inspections. One report from a Midwest location even noted visible black film inside the dispenser. That is not a topping. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen. But the biggest offense might be the illusion of quality. Those flame-kissed chicken strips, frozen, that fresh rolled wrap, prepackaged. One employee described the food prep like building with puzzle pieces that someone else already made. You are not ordering food. You are assembling a microwave memory and paying premium for it. So next time you think about pulling into a Dairy Queen for a quick snack, remember, the real blizzard might be happening in the kitchen, and it is made of shortcuts, bacteria, and melted standards. Now let us move on to a restaurant that has chicken in its name but chaos in its kitchen. Popeyes, the spicy, crispy powerhouse that exploded in popularity thanks to one viral chicken sandwich. But while the sandwich may slap, what happens behind the scenes might make you drop it. Employees from multiple locations have gone on record about prep rooms, so unorganized they had raw chicken stacked on the floor in crates. That is not seasoning. That is a salmonella playground. A former worker from Georgia claimed they were instructed to reuse breading multiple times, even when it turned orange and sticky. The reason? Save costs. Another said that the chicken would often sit in the open air while waiting to be fried, sometimes for hours. By the time it hit the oil, it had been touched, moved, and breathed on by multiple people. That is not cooking, that is roulette. Let us talk about the oil. That golden crisp you taste? It is not always fresh. In fact, some stores push their fryers for days without changing the oil. One manager admitted they only swap it out when the color gets too dark to pass inspection. Until then, they just filter and reuse. The result is food that may look crunchy but carries the aftertaste of every meal that came before it. One customer described the fries as tasting like old shrimp and battery acid. Not exactly the Cajun flavor they were going for. And then there is the famous biscuit. Buttery, flaky, and apparently made with the same care as a fire drill. One employee said the biscuits are sometimes pulled from the oven too early and left under a heat lamp to finish cooking. That means the outside gets tough while the inside stays underdone. That is not comfort food. That is a flour-based prank. Cleanliness? Let us just say it depends on the shift. Night crews often skip deep cleaning in favor of quick wipes and clockouts. Soda machines can go untouched for days. A customer once posted a video showing flies crawling near the drive-thru window, hovering over uncovered trays of chicken. The caption just said, "Dinner and a show." Popeyes may deliver on flavor, but it often fails on follow-through. The demand is high, the staffing is low, and the shortcuts stack up like biscuits on a Sunday morning. And while their branding leans into bold, spicy, and southern charm, the behind the scenes reality can feel more like a rushed science project than a recipe. So, yes, the chicken sandwich is good, but is it worth rolling the dice on everything else? That depends on how lucky you feel. And this is only the beginning. We have four more fast food chains to expose, and each one has its own brand of messy, moldy, or misleading. If you think things cannot get worse from here, you might want to keep watching, because the next two spots are experts at pretending to be something they are not. And once you see how deep the fryer goes, you may never crave fast food the same way again. Still hungry? Yeah, we did not think so. Hit like, smash subscribe, and join us for part 2, where more fast food dreams go to die. If you thought greasy gloves and microwave meat were bad, the next two restaurants will take things to a whole new level of what in the world. These chains are masters of the clean image, the comforting logo, and the menu that makes you think you are eating something special. But look a little closer, and it is like peeling back the shiny wrapper only to find something that smells off, feels wrong, and might send your digestive system into therapy. Let us step into Panera Bread, the cafe that wants you to believe you are sipping soup in a European bistro, when really you are sitting next to a sticky table near a soda machine that sounds like it is gasping for air. Panera has branded itself as healthy, fresh, and even artisanal. But former employees tell a much different story, one that involves frozen soup bags, repurposed pastries, and a prep line that moves faster than a blender on high speed. The soup? It does not simmer gently on a stove. It arrives frozen, packed in plastic bags like meal prep for robots. Workers drop them into industrial water baths to thaw, then pour the contents into serving trays. One employee joked that the broccoli cheddar soup was made more from hope than vegetables, and if it sits too long, the top forms a crust so thick it has to be stirred like cement. Those famous bread bowls? Not baked in store. They arrive par-baked from central factories and are reheated. Multiple former bakers admitted they were not allowed to adjust timing or temperature, even if the bread looked burned or undercooked. You just toasted it, plated it, and smiled. That sourdough crunch you love? Engineered in a lab, not by some friendly guy named Luca who needs dough at dawn. Let us not forget the salad line. On busy days, it is a frenzy of bagged lettuce, dry carrots, and chicken strips that smell a little too lemony to be real. The chicken is pre-grilled, vacuum-sealed, and sliced for speed. If it looks fresh, it is because someone spritzed it with water. A former team member described watching coworkers mix a whole container of lettuce with bare hands, just to fluff it up for the next round of bowls. That is not organic. That is unsettling. And the pastries? That glass display case of cinnamon rolls and danishes looks like a fancy bakery window. But half of what you see is yesterday's leftovers. Items are kept overnight, rotated, and reused until sold. And if something looks too dried out, it gets repurposed into croutons, bread pudding, or just tossed with a little extra icing to disguise the age. One employee called it the day-old shuffle. Customers called it delicious. But if they knew the age of the croissant they were eating, they might think twice. Cleanliness varies wildly from location to location. Some are spotless, others not so much. Health inspection reports from multiple states list violations like unwashed produce, mold under the soda machine grates, and temperature logs missing for days. One store in Texas had to toss out an entire fridge of food after the cooling system failed, and no one noticed for 8 hours. The sandwiches made that morning, already served. Now let us switch gears to a place that says it is always fresh, always made to order, and always worth the drive-through line. We are talking about Five Guys, the red and white tiled burger haven that hands you a greasy brown bag filled with fries like it is a treasure chest. But what you do not see are the piles of potatoes on the floor, the unfiltered peanut oil splashes, and the open prep line that looks like a cooking show filmed in a garage. Five Guys wants you to think it is upscale fast food. But behind that illusion are practices that feel more rush than refined. The fries? Yes, they start with fresh potatoes. But once they hit the oil, things get dicey. The oil is peanut-based and reused throughout the day. Some employees say they only change it if the color looks off or the fries start to taste like cardboard. That oil fryer smell you walk into when entering? It is not ambiance. It is buildup. And the burger patties, while made from fresh ground beef, are stored in trays that often sit too long on open counters. Multiple ex-workers said the raw meat is portioned out in bulk each morning and kept in bins covered with plastic wrap. If the rush hits hard, staff will skip glove changes just to keep up. One guy even admitted to grabbing raw patties with one hand and flipping buns with the other. That is not multitasking. That is a cross-contamination, special with a side of regret. Let us talk about the peanuts. You know, the big open box you can scoop while waiting. It feels homey, unless you think about how many people's hands have been in there. No tongs, no oversight, just dozens of fingers digging around in a box of loose shells. It is not just unsanitary, it is a snack buffet for bacteria. One customer once posted a photo of a Band-Aid they found at the bottom of a peanut box. That is not a surprise crunch. That is a lawsuit starter pack. The kitchens are chaotic by design. Open concept means customers can see everything. But seeing is not always believing. One former crew member said the trick was to keep moving so fast that customers did not have time to notice if something dropped, or if a spatula hit the floor and came right back up. Fast hands, fast food, he said. The burgers come stacked and steaming, but also sweating from sitting under the heat lamp while the fries finish cooking. As for the cleanliness, again, depends on the crew. Some night shifts do full wipe downs, others spot clean and clock out. Soda fountains can get sticky, ice machines go unchecked, and grease builds up faster than it gets scrubbed away. One health inspection listed visible debris behind the fryer and accumulated grime under the prep table. That is not flavor. That is neglect. And do not be fooled by the price tag. Just because you are paying $15 for a burger combo does not mean you are getting premium. You are just getting extra fries dumped in the bag and the illusion of a better experience. One customer review said it best. For this price, I expected clean tables and a burger that did not look like it was sat on by the guy ahead of me in line. Five Guys delivers on taste, no question. But the chaotic kitchen, the oil habits, and the peanut pit of doom tell a different story behind the grill. And the more you know, the harder it is to enjoy that foil-wrapped meal with full confidence. We are now 4 restaurants in. You are probably thinking, all right, it cannot get worse. But you would be wrong. Because of the last 2 question marks, they are the biggest, most iconic names in fast food. And one of them is the king of burgers, while the other is the golden giant of global dining. And the secrets behind those logos? They are not just ugly, they are unsettling. You might want to sit down, because part 3 is where the golden arches crack wide open. At this point, your stomach might already be sending warning signals. But if you thought the last 4 restaurants were bad, the next 2 are the reason this list even exists. These chains are not just fast food, they are pop culture. They are woven into childhood memories, road trips, and late-night cravings. But behind the wrappers, the slogans, and the perfectly styled ads lies a level of dysfunction that will make you rethink every drive-thru visit you have ever made. Let us start with Burger King. The crown, the flame-grilled promise, the ads that try a little too hard to be clever. Burger King is everywhere, but the real royalty here might just be the mold in the soda machine. Multiple former employees have shared stories that range from gross to downright alarming. One worker said their location used to leave raw patties out for hours, stacked in uncovered trays because it was quicker to grab. Another said the fryers were only fully cleaned once a week, sometimes less, and the oil looked like it came from a car engine. The Whopper may be flame grilled, but that flame is automated. No chef is standing behind the line with a spatula. The burgers go through a broiler system on a belt, like a meat conveyor. If the machine is dirty, your burger picks up whatever grime came before it. Grease buildup, bits of old food, and even plastic if the tray liners melt under high heat. One viral video showed a patty coming out of the broiler covered in black flakes. The caption said, "Extra char or extra concern?" Let us talk about those frozen products. Nearly everything is pre-packaged, from the pancakes to the hash browns to the eggs. One employee admitted that the scrambled eggs come as a liquid in a carton and are cooked in the microwave when no one is watching. If you order eggs after breakfast rush, chances are it is being nuked in the back while someone pretends it was freshly made. The breakfast croissants are thawed, not baked. The French toast sticks? shipped in boxes and flash fried for 30 seconds before being tossed into a paper sleeve and called breakfast. Cleanliness is a recurring issue. Health inspection records across multiple states list things like uncovered trash bins in food prep areas, rodent activity near storage shelves, and expired product stickers being replaced with new ones. One former shift manager said their job included date rotation, which was just a nice way of saying they were told to relabel old meat if it still looked okay. If your burger tastes like it traveled through time, that might be why. And then there is the issue of undercooked meat. Several employees across different locations have come forward saying they were pressured to serve patties early to keep up with order times. One former team member in California said they were scolded for tossing a burger that was pink in the center. Management told them they will not notice once the toppings are on. Spoiler alert, they noticed. That customer got food poisoning and never came back. Even the crown itself is a lie, the classic paper crowns that Burger King hands out. Stored in boxes that sit near the floor, often next to cleaning supplies. A worker once posted a photo of the crown storage area right behind the mop sink. That is not royalty. That is just wrong. And yet, Burger King keeps advertising like it is reinventing the burger world. New sandwich every season, new deal every week. But the same issues keep happening behind the counter. Rushed prep, reused oil, ignored cleaning schedules. It is not the king of burgers. It is the court jester of corner cutting. Which brings us to the final stop, the most iconic name in the fast food world. The Golden Arches, the billion served, the place where the ice cream machine is always broken and the fries never taste the same once they cool down. Welcome to McDonald's. There is no denying it. McDonald's is a global giant. But that size comes at a cost, and much of that cost is paid by the customers who assume consistency means quality. Let us talk about those famous fries. They are cooked in vegetable oil that, at many locations, gets filtered and reused far beyond what health guidelines recommend. Employees have shared that some stores only swap the oil when it becomes visibly brown or starts to smell off. Until then, it is filtered, skimmed, and hoped for the best. And the burger patties? Yes, they are 100% beef, but that does not mean prime cuts. It means processed trimmings, ground up into uniform shapes, flash frozen, and stacked in massive freezer rooms. One ex-employee said they used to call them meat pucks because they looked and felt like hockey gear. The grill itself is automatic. No hand flipping, no judgment. If the patty sticks, burns, or undercooks, it slides off the belt anyway. The cleanliness problem is real. Night shift workers often skip full cleaning procedures just to get out on time. One former crew member said their store manager told them to just wipe down the main stuff and leave the rest for the morning shift. That meant dirty floors, sticky counters, and soda nozzles covered in syrup residue. Another worker confessed that they found mold under the ice bin, but were told not to mention it during the inspection. Let us not forget the ice cream machines, the infamous mystery of why they are always out of order. The truth? Cleaning them is such a complicated multi-hour process that most employees do not do it correctly. And if the cycle fails, it locks the machine until a technician resets it, which can take days. One whistleblower shared photos of a machine mid-clean, and the gunk inside looked like yogurt mixed with motor oil. That is not dessert. That is a digestive gamble. Even the breakfast menu, which many people praise as their favorite, hides its own secrets. The eggs in McMuffins are cracked fresh sometimes, but during busy hours or in understaffed stores, frozen egg discs are used instead. Pancakes are pre-made, frozen, and reheated on a griddle that might still have burger grease on it from the night before. A customer once posted a video of their McGriddle dripping with grease and topped with a slice of cheese that had not even begun to melt. It looked like a sad science experiment. But the worst part might be how normalized it all feels. McDonald's thrives because it is everywhere, because it is convenient, because people assume that something this popular has to be good enough. But behind that illusion is a food operation that often cuts corners, skips steps, and rushes meals out the door no matter what. The system is not broken, it is designed this way. And now you know the truth. 6 fast food chains, 6 long lists of issues, from moldy machines and reused oil to frozen meat and fake freshness. Not all locations are guilty, but the pattern is clear. The illusion of speed, convenience, and value often hides what is really going on behind the counter. And the more you know, the harder it is to pretend it is just food. So next time you pull into that drive-thru or scroll through a food delivery app, ask yourself, do I really know what I'm about to eat? And is it worth the risk? If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks a soggy burger and moldy ice bin make a good combo meal. Thanks for watching. And remember, the truth is not always on the menu.